You are listening to the Co-Movement Gym podcast. The following is a conversation with Andrew Rubino. Andrew is the board president of the Utica Roadrunners. He has been on the board since 2019, volunteering for various positions, including vice president of activities and events, scholarship chairperson, and development run coordinator. He has been running casually since 2006, but got more serious in 2018 when he joined the Utica Roadrunners. He has run a number of races ranging from 5K up to 50 miles, as well as a variety of endurance challenges. I would like to thank our sponsors, Native Path Supplements, Lombardi Chiropractic, Home Sweet Home Cleaning, and Thin Line Martial Arts. If you are enjoying this content, I ask that you support these companies in the description and take advantage of the enticing discount they're providing our listeners by using our code COMO15. That's COMO 15. I thank each and every one of you for being on this journey with us. Now, please enjoy the show. Andrew, welcome to the Co-Movement Gym podcast. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Josh.
Good,
How are
dude.
you?
I'm glad we get to connect here. I'm excited to talk about Utica Roadrunners and running in general. So, how did the organization get started?
It started back in the 70s with a group of people who would gather at the YMCA in Utica, and they just got together and they started running and started putting together the events.
That's cool. So did it start out as more of like the goal of being a social thing or a competitive thing? What do you think their original intention was?
You know, talking to some of the original members, there's not too many of them that are around right now. I think it was more like just general fitness and getting together and hanging out, running, and then it turned into what it is today.
Yeah, it's quite the organization today. How many people are part of the club right now?
Generally, we have around 500 members each year. The numbers change year to year, but we're around 500 going strong.
What do you think now with, I'm curious because we own a gym and, there's different reasons people belong here as members. Why do you think people join and are a part of the Utica Roadrunners? What do you think is the primary thing that drives them to join that?
I think we have so many different activities and events that go on. So I think it's just that we create spaces for people to gather and run and have a good time. So like you had mentioned, Ashley, she's doing the development runs. That was my first exposure to the club about 15 years ago. Everyone gets together, they run on the parkway. You could do 3 distances, a 2-mile, a 5K, and then a 10K. So that happens every single Wednesday night, and I thought that was awesome. And you get like a race feel there, and there's a huge group of people that show up every single Wednesday night. Then we got people who are interested in running their Boilermaker for the first time. So we have a Boilermaker training program. They met every single Wednesday or every single Saturday morning as a group for our group runs, and we started back at the end of February this year at Accelerate, and that was led by Eric Winberg, and he's a physical therapist. I don't know if you know him. He led the group this year, and we went all the way up to the Boilermaker, doing various distances and running the course, doing injury prevention, hydration, general, nutrition, things like that. So we had a few members who completed their first Boilermaker this year, so that was really exciting. We added people who were training to do the 5K because really the focus of the program in the past had been to do the 15K. So that was new this year. And I think people just have fun, like getting together, getting out there, being active, and like I said, having those spaces in the community to participate and be healthy and have
Yeah, and
fun.
it's way better to run with people than by yourself, right?
Yeah, it can be. It's generally like I do both. So, and that's really how I got started too, is you find a great group of people who are consistent, who have their goals, and you line up with them, and things start clicking, and you have that accountability factor that's
Mm-hmm.
there too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for example, Boilermaker training program, everyone's there. You're not there. People notice.
Mm-hmm.
So people are going to say like, "Oh, what happened?" Or, you know, and there's always going to be someone running.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, no,
no matter what time of day or what the weather
yeah,
is.
they're gonna call you out if you're slacking, right? Yeah, one thing
Yeah.
I really like about what you guys are doing across multiple dimensions with the Utica Roadrunners is you're providing structure for people. Running program. You had mentioned, there was one of the people leading it was a physical therapist. Different tips and hydration. Like, there's a lot to being a proficient runner. There's a lot to being proficient really in any discipline, right? But running has a tendency to injure a lot of people, frustrate a lot of people. A lot of people stall out with progress. But what you guys are doing is providing programs and motivation and knowledge to help progress people forward, which I think is so huge, because I think the average person most likely probably just starts out running randomly without a plan, and you guys help guide them. So I think that's great.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I started out.
Yeah, well,
Just started like, I don't know, trying to be like, looks like a day to run, so I'm gonna do that and try to get out 3 days a
mhm.
week, and then I connected with the group, and I really took off
No,
then.
that's awesome. I was on your website looking at the races that you host. The big one being the Falling Leaves, the 14K, I think it is. It said that the race had around 1,400 participants. Dude, that's impressive. It's a lot of people. That's really great.
Yeah. I'm also directing that race this year so I've taken over the directing role from the past race director had done it for the past 10
Mhm.
years. Um, so that's moving along. We got 650 plus people registered now, almost 700, and we opened at the Boilermaker. So right after the Boilermaker finished, we opened our race. So I mean, it's only been like a couple of weeks, so it's going
Yeah,
pretty
that's
strong.
awesome. You hit them up right after they're all pumped up about finishing the Boilermaker. You get them to sign up for something else right away before the soreness sets in.
Yeah.
Back pain, headaches, and discomfort plague the majority of humans walking around each day. Chiropractic care can be the solution to feeling your best. I know for me personally, it has had a huge impact on how I feel day to day. The problem is that many people fear going to the chiropractor and getting their first adjustment. The team at Lombardi Chiropractic are the best of the best, a team that I've worked with for over 12 years. Visit their website at lombardichiropractic.com, and when you call, let them know you are a listener of the Co-Movement Gym podcast. The majority of supplements on the market are junk and a waste of money. Lack of regulation allows these companies to sell cardboard and a pill, and they get away with it. It's important to purchase your supplements from a company you trust, which for us at Co-Movement is Native Path Supplements. Shop their products at nativepath.com and use code COMO15 for a nice discount at checkout. That's COMO 15. Law enforcement officers have one tough job. While some calls may be routine, many are not, oftentimes putting officers in unpredictable situations. Thin Line Martial Arts is an apparel company that promotes defensive tactics training for officers so that they can be equipped to safely handle a hand-to-hand combat situation. Purchasing apparel from Thin Line Martial Arts promotes this message and allows more officers to attend training. Go to thinlinemartialarts.com and use code COMO15, that's COMO 15, to receive a 15% discount on us. Did you know a clean house reduces anxiety, increases your productivity, improves sleep, and decreases stress? Yes, all of those health benefits just from having a clean house. The problem is that no one finds cleaning fun, except for the great folks at Home Sweet Home Cleaning. Mention the Co-Movement Gym podcast and receive 20% off deep cleans for all clients who sign on using their reoccurring services and start enjoying a clean house today. So, what do you think?
So we do that.
Oh, go ahead, Andrew. Sorry, buddy.
Uh, there's a couple different distances there too. So the big one is the 14K, and that's RRCA championship event this year. It was a championship event last year as well. And then we do offer there's a 5K option. So we start at the Delta Marriott. You run up, go around Oneida Circle, and then continue up to the Parkway, and then come back down Oneida Street and through the circle again to finish. And then we do a kids kilometer mile.
Oh,
as
nice.
well.
Yeah, I like that. Get the kids involved. Yeah. My boy, 10-year-old, he just did his first 5K at the Boilermaker this year, and he was pumped. Big confidence boost for him. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was cool. It's not, we're not moving fast, but for him, it's a great, great, great accomplishment. And it was funny. We started out, and with kids, it's all a competition. So you're running with like 3,000 or 4,000 other people, and he wanted just to pass everybody in the beginning, which obviously doesn't last. It doesn't last long with a 10-year-old, and so we finally found our pace about a half mile in. But the whole experience with him was definitely a game changer. He just loved the atmosphere. He loved the water stations, the popsicles. He just liked all of that. The fact that you're doing stuff with kids, I think that is really, really, really important. I know as a kid in Deansboro, that's where I grew up, they did a local 5K, and I did that for many years there. And that got me into running and the whole space of that. So that's good. You're doing some stuff for kids too.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every single race that we have has a kids run component to it, including the development runs. So every Wednesday night, kids can come out and run up to the zoo, turn around, and come on back. The skeleton run that we do in October, that's huge. Everyone, a bunch of people dress up in costumes, and there are a variety of kids distances that they can run as well. And then we do there's a youth cross country track program that's been going on over the summer in Whitesboro. So and that's very popular. That fills up really quickly. So we're always looking for to support kids in running, getting them excited about getting out there, being active, being competitive in appropriate ways, and getting used to like being in that, and being in the atmosphere as well. And then as they get older, we do a scholarship program. So every year, we donate 4 $500 scholarships to deserving candidates who are going to be going to a college, and they could use that money for just general college expenses, however they choose. So there's a process for that, but we do that at the end of June. And Paul Albaum, who's one of the original members, he loves coming out. He loves inspiring the kids, talking to the kids, giving them his experience, and just encouraging everybody. So we actually gave away five $500 awards this year.
Wow, that's great. How do the kids qualify for that, Andrew? Do they have to be part of the organization, Utica Roadrunners? Is there a certain number of races they have to do? How's that work?
So they have to show good academic standing and like exceptional, performance
Mm-hmm.
in school. Um, there is that process where we do like review their transcripts and how they're performing. Um, Sometimes we get kiddos who had a rough start and running really, saved their life in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different ways. From giving them a space to and an outlet to perform
Mm-hmm.
competitively instead of turning to some of the other things that kids can get into that would, not be safe. Um, so, some of them start out with like not even speaking English, and then they've made their way through running and improving their grades
Mm-hmm.
that way. So we've given scholarships that way as well. They have to write an
Mm-hmm.
essay and get recommendations as well. And then there is a like short answer on the applications. So like, what were their times? Were they involved as like
Mm-hmm.
captains? General thoughts about running and their running goals. Um, so there's an application process, and then we review it as a committee
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's
and make a determination uh, based on how they're
yeah, that's
coming.
awesome. Yeah,
So
that's great, man. That's cool. We're hosting a small trail race here in September, the Brookfield Classic. And so I'm really curious what are some key factors to making a race successful?
I think like the first thing is you got to make it fun. So like the whole atmosphere when you roll in. So like just that vibe that you get, because people are generally excited already about it, but like whatever you guys do is just geared to like making it fun, keeping that excitement going, and like right off the bat there. Obviously, for like a trail run, which I've done a few, um, having some good aid
Okay.
stations is important. Um, Marking the course is
Mm-hmm.
important. So I know a number, that's actually part of the challenge of trail running too. So like you're following the people in front of you, but you also should be accountable for yourself to make sure you're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
But like nice markings on a trail is good, especially if you're doing an ultra, which I went the wrong way on an ultra too, and ended up like
Ah.
you got to do a little bit more now and go back, or you're following the guy in front of you, and then like everybody's starting to follow him, but it turns out that guy made the wrong turn.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just being aware of like what the course is, getting it out there to everybody. I mean, like, I don't know how high tech you're going. This is the first
Mhm.
one, so like really what you want to do is just make sure that like people are having
Okay.
fun out there, people are
Yep.
supported out there. um so like uh like obviously like a
Mhm.
sweeper, people on the course, um just to make sure people are
Mhm.
safe, um and then just that people are having
Okay.
fun. So that if I'm going to keep it really simple, that's what I would
Okay.
say. Keep that energy up, that vibe going, and make sure that people are supported. They know where they're
Mhm.
going.
Mhm. Yeah, I was because this is in the Brookfield State Lands, and so there's a ton of horse trails, truck trails. We uploaded a course map on the website, so it's very clear, where they're going in terms of if they have their phone or they want to, run it before, look into that. And then we're also what I'm thinking of, and it's funny that you mentioned the, course markings. They actually had a horse race back there a few weeks ago, and they had done like ribbons, like pink ribbons along the whole thing, and it was quite easy to follow. Is that a good idea, do you think, for course markings?
Yeah, I think that would probably be a really good idea is to select a
Mm-hmm.
color and ribbon it off. Some signage is always good. Like you're gonna when you're hiking, you follow the blazes on a trail if it's a marked trail. So that's always something to do. The little flags are nice
Mm-hmm.
as well to like show that you're not gonna go make that turn. You're gonna kind of like go and make the
Mm-hmm.
appropriate turn. Um, we had a ribbon like that was kind of roping off part of the course for one of our
Mm-hmm.
runs, and it had come
Mm-hmm.
down.
Oh, huh.
So people had actually run the course incorrectly on one of ours. So I mean, like that's always important too to make sure that when you're covering a span of you're doing a 30K, right?
It's a
It's
15 and a 50K. The 50K is
50K.
three loops. And so each loop is about
Oh,
nine
okay. So that's
miles. Yeah.
easy. Yeah. Okay. So that's
Mhm.
great then, because you're a loop. People know where they're going then hopefully by the second time. But
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's easy to keep your aid stations there as
Mhm,
well.
mhm.
So um,
Okay, yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, and the fun factor for sure, it's yeah, we're going to do some unique small stuff. Like I said, a small group. We want a small group to start. I think we're going to have around 20 to 30 for year 1. And then from there, we're growing a little bit. We might add a 5K next year. We have as a part of the 9 mile, the 15K loop there's a really nice 5K section, so we might throw that in there too. So, oh yeah, that's great. Let's see, what do you think keeps people coming back year after year? You guys host a lot of great races and stuff, and you got a lot of familiar faces coming back every year. What keeps them coming back?
so I think like especially like through the club, it's the
Okay.
camaraderie factor. It's who are you going to see at the race? Who is racing? Who's running? And even if it's just like if it's a social event
Mhm.
as well or like a social run, people like to be with other people and have a good time. So I think that's key. Um, People being comfortable after to a certain
Mhm.
degree. Um, Although being uncomfortable and embracing the suck is also like camaraderie building. So like people who are going to come out to this, they're going to run and you're doing 3 loops. So you have 15Kers who are going to be doing that. So let's see them on the
Mhm.
first loop. But then you're going to see other people who are going to kind of just like join up with
Yep.
each other. And people are naturally going to, maybe they'll follow them on Strava. Maybe they'll find out where's your next trail run going or where's your next ultra going to be or start making connections that
Mhm.
way. Um, so like, I think you just keep the vibe, easygoing, fun, and people are gonna
Mhm.
come back. I know we have there's a group that is big on trail running and ultra running within the
Oh
Utica
wow, cool.
Roadrunners.
Awesome.
So I mean, they run together like all the
Mhm.
time. So they'd probably be pretty excited to find
Okay.
out about this, and if they can do it, they
Mhm.
would. Um, so I think it's who you attract to. Like there's a certain person who's going to run 3 9 mile such
Mhm.
loops around too. So like usually like fun, easygoing type of person. You do get your more like serious hardcore who are gonna like really be trying to like tear
Mhm.
it up. But like I mean like that's awesome to see as
Mhm.
well. So I think like people experiencing a new course
Mhm.
as well um, is is going to also be good. It's bringing. I know Brookfield's in
Yep.
Madison County, but like it's not far away.
Yeah,
Like it's not
no.
like you got to go out to Syracuse
Mhm.
to get some trails. A lot of people run out there
Mhm.
by Green Lakes Park and some of the parks out there. So this is awesome. Like I work in Brookfield
Oh,
every
you
now and
do?
again.
Where do you work in
So like when I was
Where do
driving
you
down
work
there
in
for,
Brookfield, dude? There's nothing down there.
I work at the school. There's the school and there's the
Yeah,
diner.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I work at the school.
Oh, yeah, no way. You work at the school. What do you do at Brookfield?
I'm a school psychologist. I'm there one
Oh
day a
man,
week.
I had no idea that was you were down there. Huh.
Yes. So like when I got down there, I was like, holy cow, there's 142, 43 miles of trail. Like, how did I not know about this during COVID? Like, I wish I had worked there earlier so I could have figured that out, and I would have been down there like all the time, rocking
Yeah,
and
dude.
rolling.
Yeah, dude.
So
There's
like,
like yeah, yeah. I think it's 130 miles of trails. And yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know you were employed by Brookfield.
I well, I work for
Hmm.
BOCES. So the way that that works is like because Brookfield is such a small school, they still need a school
Hmm.
psychologist,
Hmm.
but they don't need a school psychologist who is there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So they contract for the time. So I travel around between different schools, and depending on the year, I'm in a different school building or a different location.
Yeah, no, that's man, that's cool. Yeah, you could have done a lot of running down there. You still can, maybe you can do this this course at some point. The course maps are all online, so yeah, you could
Yeah, no, I'd love to.
yeah, you could give it a shot. Oh, I'm hooking up to another
I,
camera here, buddy. Hold on one second. Let's
all right.
see.
Yeah, depending on where I'm at with my training and where I'm at, like in general, I would like to do the course, at least the
Oh yeah,
15K.
awesome. So this year you're thinking about signing up for the 15K, the actual race there? Yeah.
Yeah, I got to make sure that it works out. So, but yeah, I would totally. I love the idea, and I'd love to like experience that trail in
Yep.
a safe way because like I could, you could get lost in the woods pretty easily.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a lot of people are intimidated. A lot of
So
people are intimidated back there, because they don't really know where they're going. And so, yeah, we're going to provide a really sweet loop, for people. So yeah, that'll be cool. Do you think that people sign up last minute? Like, or do you think that people like to sign up early for races? Because I'm curious with that. We've got about I think 15 pre-registered, but I feel like we have a ton of people saying that they're doing it, but they haven't signed up. Is that normal?
yeah, that's normal. A lot of people are kind of like last minute to sign up, but like if you keep engagement
Mm-hmm.
up and like keep making posts or like just like maybe not like incentives, but like just some things that are
Mm-hmm.
going on. Um, People are going to know that you're out there and you're communicating with them in a way about like what's going on with the race. So like doing the podcast like this, that's great. And making posts on social media, sending out information is good as
Mm-hmm.
well. So
Mm-hmm.
linking up. Is this on the Ultra sign up
I don't know
website?
what that is, so probably not.
Because I'll I'll send you the link about it because it's got and maybe you could see about getting on
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. The only people I've
But
connected with is you and then the Roman runners. I think they put it on their calendar in Rome there for us.
yep,
And yes,
yep,
I've purposefully not trying to go crazy with marketing because like I said, first year, so I don't want 200 people. I can see this definitely growing, especially as we establish like FKTs and different things like that. But and it's a
hmm
very unique environment, like it's in the woods. And there's not a whole lot around in this area, like what people are going to experience. And the vertical gain is almost 5,000 feet over the 50K. Even for the 15K, there's some
Nice.
killer hills. There's two pretty demoralizing hills on per loop. So it'll challenge people for sure. And another thing and you said it too, we're not just going after people that are, high end runners. We want people to hike the course. They could hike the 15K. If you're a beginner, you could do like a run walk. We want to be promoting this to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that needs to just get out there too. It could be a hike, it could be a
Mm-hmm.
run walk. Um, however, however you feel comfortable
Mm-hmm.
doing it. I think the 15K is a little bit more of like a challenging type of distance for someone who maybe has never done like a trail
Yeah.
run before. So like you're probably gonna get the people who have some sort of experience doing a trail run or trail race.
Yeah, and that's why next year we're going to add that 5K. Do you know Craig
Yeah.
North from the Route 20 series?
I don't know him
Okay, you've heard
personally,
of the Route
but
20
yeah.
series, Andrew?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
he reached out and said that it was super cool, what we were doing, but he wanted us to add a 5K if possible. And so we looked at our course. And so, yeah, so you're absolutely right. If you're not used to trail running, jumping into a 15K could be quite a bit for a beginner, but next year we'll have that 5K for people to give it a shot.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a
Okay,
good
very
move.
cool. That's great. What mistakes do you see new runners or even people that have been running for a while? What mistakes do you see runners make on a common basis?
Oh my
I know there's
gosh.
a lot.
I mean, like, there's so much that, there's so much that could go wrong. And then like all that could go wrong, and you could still have a great race. So like, um, I think it's like, I think the most important thing is to just like trust your training. Um, and it's kind of cliche to like, listen to your body, but like, if you need to walk,
Mhm.
walk. If you feel like running, run. You
Mhm.
know, get it done. If today's not your day, today's not your day. But if it is, go get it. Um, I think hydration is extremely important, and nutrition is extremely
Mhm.
important. With that said, like I don't eat the best types of food. I mean, it's just eating in general is important to get that fuel
Mhm.
going. And I listened to that podcast with the nutrition, and it was really it spot on. So like, if anyone's listening to this one, they should check that one out
Mhm.
too.
Is that the one?
Um,
Is that the one
and
that?
just like staying hydrated, staying
Is that the one Andy and I did, Andrew? With the nutrition? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they had a lot of good nuggets
yeah,
in there.
yeah. Yeah. One of the things I do like would be like
Mhm.
pickles. People love that. I love that. I was like, oh man, you got pickles. That was awesome. So and I didn't hear you guys talking about that. So maybe that if that's not on the list, I would add
Okay.
that.
Yeah, dude, I love pickles too. That's nice.
So that's good.
Okay.
But yeah, I just think like doing that and pacing yourself is also important as
Mhm.
well. Like you don't want to go out and try and kill it, you know, the first mile, 2 miles. You want to just like get a feel for it, and
Mhm.
finish.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it's a new course for everybody.
Mhm.
You're gonna have people who are more experienced and they'll be able to go and kill it. But like I would just say take it easy, have fun, take it all in, and just enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then you could kill it on the last loop because by the last loop, then you know what to expect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's 3 loops, and then we run one more loop around Woodland Pond for an epic finish right at Woodland Pond. It's very scenic, very pretty. So yeah, it's 3. Yeah, it'll be 3 and yeah, a little over a quarter loops, and so yeah, they're not quite done at 3, but pretty close. um, the other thing
Yeah,
the other
that's
thing that I
awesome.
set up too with this is a time limit of 9 hours. And the way I came up with 9 hours is if someone wanted to see if they could walk the course at 3.5 miles per hour for 9 hours, they're finish. But that's, as you and I know, that's harder than it seems. But there may be someone out there that's a power hiker and they
Right.
wanna give that a go. So it'll be interesting.
Hmm.
um,
Yeah, no, I think it's important to have a time limit like that, because you don't want people wandering around on the course. You want to make sure everyone's found as well in case.
yeah.
So,
Well, and the time limit also gives people, the little bit of motivation to make sure they are, prepped, or at least, somewhat prepped for a distance like a 50K. Um, I think people get the misperception a lot of
yes,
times in like the fitness world that they're more capable than they truly are with certain things. And so, we don't want to be, finding people 12 hours into the race crawling up the last hill.
right, exactly, exactly.
So your club competitions, Andrew, what is that? Is that like a series with points, or tell me about that?
We have two types of competitions that we do. The first one is a competition between the Utica Roadrunners and other running clubs within the
Mhm.
area. So the idea is Utica Roadrunners puts on a race, Hill Shredders puts on a race, Roman Runners, Towpath, the
Mhm.
Kickers. So and then we compete as like a racing team, and it also promotes all the races within the local running community. So then there's a formula that's beyond my understanding. It's probably more simple than I'm making it out to be. But and then you like with age grading and with the timing, and then that translates over into points.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So for the competitive person that wants to,
So
be involved in a sport like setting, that would be for them.
yeah, right, and that's called the CNY
Mhm.
Club Cup. And so the Club Cup is between the other running clubs. And it's also interesting too because you got people who run for different clubs and
Mhm.
multiple clubs. And like some people, you have to commit at the beginning of the year which club you're going to
Oh
be
boy,
running for.
loyalty plays a factor there.
Yeah, exactly. So like people switch it around every single year, or it's just good fun. So but I do want to drink out of the club cup at some point while I'm president. So um, hopefully we'll be able to get that going.
Yeah.
Um, the, the other one is called the Grand Prix.
Mhm.
And so what that one is a competition between road runners. So you have your age group
Mhm.
category, and there's a series of races that are throughout the year. So those are all designated at the beginning
Mhm.
of the year, and they're typically the same. And basically, what happens is it's the same kind of thing. You earn points um, based on how you performed, and you're competing within your age group. So like male 25 to 30 or female 40 to
Mm-hmm.
45. Are like it's like five years
Mm-hmm.
increments. Um, so it it keeps things interesting too. It does build it builds camaraderie as also that competition
Mm-hmm.
factor there. Um, and again, you're seeing the same people who are out there. They're pushing you, whether it's like in competitive way or encouraging way. You want to try and uh, and do better. So that adds for more of like the competitive
Mm-hmm.
side of what we do for the
Oh
club.
yeah,
So that's the Grand
yeah,
Prix.
that's so cool. When you and I first started talking, Andrew, a few weeks ago, I had no idea you guys were into so many cool things. I knew you did the developmental runs, and really that's about it. But this is a pretty great organization with a lot of options for a lot of people. What are your future plans for the Utica Roadrunners? Do you have any like growth plans or unique ideas or things you're going to test out, or are you just going to keep rolling with what you got?
I mean, there's always stuff that's going on. There's always like new things that come out of just the community and what the community
Mm-hmm.
needs are. Um, so we're constantly growing and changing. Uh, the pandemic challenged us as a
Mm-hmm.
running club to stay connected to the
Mm-hmm.
community and keeping people out there and running. So um, that challenged us to do a number of virtual
Yep.
events that were engaging and fun. Um, and some of them are still around
Mm-hmm.
today and have taken up more of like a live component as well. Um, One of them that comes to mind is the is a 5 after 5
Mm-hmm.
challenge, where you run a 5K or 5 miles every day for
Oh
15
wow.
days, and it's central direct. Yeah, you start at Cinco de Mayo, the day after Cinco de Mayo, so 5 after 5 Cinco de Mayo. Um, this year, and then along the way, there's different challenges that are inclusive as well. So it's not just like you know run as fast as you can or beat that other person. It's run in a high elevation and a winner is
Mm-hmm.
picked, and then you get like you get some kind of an award like a six-pack from
Mm-hmm.
Saranac. So um, things like that. So we did a group run at the beginning where we met at the brewery, and then we did one at the end, which was like a celebration. And we gave out like we had a whole bunch of fun swag that we gave out. Another one that we do is the Run Against
Mm-hmm.
Racism, and that's to bring running to Cornhill
Mm-hmm.
in Utica. So that's a 5K, or you could do half of that, so a mile and a half, because there's
Mm-hmm.
two loops. So a lot of people, they'll come out, run, walk. There's a kids run that's involved with that. Um, it is free to run
Mm-hmm.
that 5K, and it's the amount of community support that we have gotten for that is
Oh wow.
huge. So it just brings out a whole bunch of people who might not be running in
Mm-hmm.
Cornhill. It's it's such a great vibe that we get from doing that, and all the money that we raise is from donations, and that goes to the Johnson Park Center, and they do a number of different programs right there in the community to support youth, and it's just to rebuild the community.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's a kids run for that too. And I, I led the kids run this year, and some of these kids just like crushed it. And you could just see like, even at such a young age, like how they're encouraging, you know, everybody to run. And even like, you get the younger brother who's finished before the older brother, and he's like, "Hey, yo, hurry up." we're waiting for you. So like, just being like that type of stuff is just it's huge. So I mean that happened. We've partnered with a running club that's out in
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo, and they have a sister brewery that's out there to Saranac. So we did a running event there, partnering with them right in Saranac. Um, and that was a huge group run that was just so well received. We had yoga, we had a few
Mm-hmm.
vendors there, like the sneaker store. Eric Winberg
Mm-hmm.
was there, who does his running program. Um, and a whole bunch of other vendors were there too. So then people did their run, they came back, enjoyed a few beverages and food. Such a great vibe. So, and that was new this
Mm-hmm.
year.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just always new things that are coming out, and new ways to kind of just engage with the community.
Oh yeah,
So I don't know what the next year will bring, and the future years will bring. It's always kind of
oh
changing.
yeah. It
So
sounds like you're evolving every year, so that's amazing, and that's so cool, dude. That Cornhill run, like you're really bringing people together as a community through running, through fitness, through health. You're promoting all of that, and man, yeah, that's pretty powerful stuff. So yeah, a lot of credit goes to you guys for that. That's great.
yeah, that was Michelle Truitt and Alejandro Gonzalez's brainchild. So that started with like, okay, we need places to run. So they found all the historical sites that were in Utica that were like black-owned businesses, or just had to do with representing black culture and
Mm-hmm.
historical sites. So they plotted a route throughout the entire city that we could run socially distant, and they left all the signs up throughout the course for the 2 years during the
Wow.
pandemic, and people could they would lead a group run together, do a talk about it, and then we'd run to the next place. Or you could do it on your own. You could do a walk. They broke it down into smaller um, distances, and it's so unique. And that's something that's like just such a huge event. And then to bring it live now and to continue with that idea is just it's
Mm-hmm.
huge.
Yeah, no, that's yeah, this is really really great stuff for the local area, and I'm just so happy that you guys are doing this work. What's the website, Andrew, for Utica Roadrunners for people to learn more and become a member or jump in on your events?
So it's Utica Roadrunners. I'm just making sure I get the .org or .com right, but it's uticaroadrunners.org. Pretty simple.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, is there
And
any other
then
place you want people to
you could
reference?
follow. Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
Facebook is huge. So just search for Utica Roadrunners on Facebook, and like our page.
Mhm.
We post more regularly on there than updating on the website. It's more fluid, and you get more interactions. We love seeing posts and pictures of people's accomplishments, um, and just like what everybody's been
Mhm.
up to.
Yeah, you're on Instagram. You're on
And
Instagram too,
catch us
right,
on
Andrew? You're on Instagram. I just followed you guys this morning.
we yep, we are on Instagram as well.
Mhm. All right. No, that's good. Buddy,
But
I'll
we
put those show links
that's
in the description there, and people can connect, and hopefully maybe you get some new members.
great. Awesome. We're always looking for new members. we're looking for everybody to come run. Our tagline is "There's a place for every pace." So
I like that. Andrew, thank you so much for the time today, buddy. We will definitely be in touch. I think we'll definitely be collaborating here in the future. So thank you.
awesome, my pleasure.
Take it easy, buddy.
You too. Bye bye.
One last message. I ask that you please check out our show sponsors, Lombardi Chiropractic, Home Sweet Home Cleaning, Native Pass Supplements, and Thin Line Martial Arts. Their links are in the description. Not only do these companies produce outstanding products and services, but they're providing an enticing discount to all listeners who use code COMO15. That's COMO15 at checkout or when you give them a call.